So we've got a couple of lightning talks now. The first one I quite like because I'm getting to the age that's suggested here, not quite, but nearly. So it gives me hope. It really gives me hope. Never too late. That's not to say I haven't got my dream job, but there probably is another dream job out there that perhaps is more suitable. Who knows? I don't know. Can you ever find your dream job? Perhaps you can, but I don't know. So we'll have to ponder that one. So anyway, so Jackie Dunn from Newcastle University is going to talk to us about how it's never too late at 58 to find your new dream job. So that would be really interesting. And then after that, we've got another lightning talk. So these are 5-minute talks, which is from Hilary Hallas. And that's actually she's the Health and Wellbeing Manager at the British Library, who's going to talk about peer buddies and the fact we all need a friend. So I think these are, again, two really interesting, all the talks have been great, but two interesting little talks, lightning talks about these topics. So Jackie, I don't know if you're ready. We're a little bit early now, but that's okay. So let's see if you're ready and if we can start the first lightning talk.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Jackie Dunn and I work as part of the education outreach team here at the Philip Robinson Library, which is the main library for Newcastle University. I'm new in role. I only took up the post in January 2023. However, I'm not new to the university libraries. I've actually been there more years than I'm going to tell you. But what I will say is that when I started, my hair was bright ginger. It's not ginger now. So that should give you an idea of roughly how long I've been here. And for the last 15 years, I've actually been a member of the Arts Liaison team. So the people on the call today that actually know me will probably remember me as Jackie from the Arts Liaison team. And that was a great job. But after 15 years, I felt that I'd taken the role as far as I could. I'd developed it, I'd refined it, I kept revalidating. It was all good, but I just felt I couldn't quite take it any further. And like most people coming out of the pandemic, I was kind of reevaluating myself and my job and my age and getting back on site. And I suddenly realized that there wasn't really much more that I could do for this role. I would say I was professionally sort of lost. I was even going to resign from CILIP. I didn't want anything more to do with a profession. And as far as revalidation, I just couldn't find anything to do. And I didn't know what to do. So I just sort of took my time and had a little bit to think about things. And then in November 22, the most amazing job opportunity came up within the library to work as part of the education outreach team. And this is a team that I've been watching for years and I'd helped on and off unofficially, but this job was perfect. It was the right grade, it was the right terms and conditions, full-time, permanent. And I thought, you know what, Jackie, you've got to do it. I hadn't applied for a job in so many years, but I thought I'm going to try. And even if I say so myself, I gave it everything that I had. And I was delighted to be appointed. And I started in January 2023. And the first 5 months have been amazing. And that's really kind of what I want to share with you for the next minute or so. I've started to try to pull together a little network of school librarians, and Anne-Marie's on the call today. She's one of my school librarians. We hope to sort of meet and discuss issues that are going on in school and at university to sort of see how we can work together to support each other, because academics and teachers are always working together. So why shouldn't librarians work together? And that's going really quite well. I've taken over a lot of the responsibility for our sixth form study skills visits. This is one of the main things that we do in education outreach, but it's not everything that we do. But at certain times of the year, it just feels as if we're forever welcoming sixth formers in. And I've now got the chance to actually take over the bookings, see how we do that and how we can do that better. I can liaise with the schools, with the teachers, with the librarians, get the school students in, and I'm actually delivering the sessions as well and collecting feedback. So I feel as if it's one thing that I can just take over all ownership of, and I absolutely love it. But I also get the chance to work with younger students, working with our special collections. And I know that you're looking at my slide now thinking, what on earth is that picture? Well, this picture is actually from our cracking cholera session. And this is me when I came out of the pandemic. But this picture is from our cracking cholera session, when we use documents from our special collections to sort of enable us to deliver these teaching sessions to the younger students. And this is great. It's from our Cholera Inquiry Commission. But I'm also actually walking up to the CIL, up to Sycamore Gap, with a group of students doing poetry and creative writing. I mean, how brilliant, is that? I did a basic museums teaching course a couple of weeks ago, and that was amazing. Thank you. I thought I knew it all about welcoming people in, but my goodness, I learned a few more things as well. I'm also on the wider team for a project called Bridging the Gap. My colleague Lauren Asprey is on the call today, and this is a project between schools and our university, looking at how sort of we can make information and resources available at school level and of course at HE level. And finally, I will say I'm not stupid. I know that I don't have 10 years left in me to work, because you did give my age out, Biddy. Yeah, I am 50, but I'm 59 now. But whatever years I've got left, I'm going to make count. And the moral of the story is, folks, and there is a moral, is that if you see your dream job, please go for it. Like me, it's never too late, even at 58, to get your dream job. Thank you so much.
Oh, that was brilliant. Thank you very much, Jackie. You've inspired me now. Wow. So thank you. Right, we'll move on before we do questions. So we're going to go on to Hilary. I don't know if you're there, Hilary. Are you there? Brilliant. Right. So Hilary is going to be talking to us, again, a lightning talk about peer buddies. We all need a friend.
Right, lovely. Thanks, Jackie, for that. You've inspired me. As a 64-year-old, there's hope for the old dog yet, so shall we say. But strangely enough, I feel I've morphed into my ideal job, very much down to the pandemic. If you want to move on to the next slide, please, I'll explain a little bit more. So, pandemic struck. I was continuous improvement manager for the British Library. Not an awful lot to do with that, because things were moving as they had to move. And somehow I managed to morph into health and well-being, probably because I managed the mental health first aiders. And it seemed a natural progression to send out any of the comms about mental health, which obviously the pandemic was affecting people greatly. So as we returned to work from the pandemic, it was put to me, would I like to be the mental health and wellbeing manager? And I grabbed it with both hands. So a bit like Jackie, go for it. So I have done, and it's the best thing I've ever done. Been at the library 45 years. I've worked in acquisitions, I've worked in special acquisitions, worked in selection. Suddenly I find myself in a completely different role, but still working at the same place. So who could ask for more? So when I took on the role as health and wellbeing manager, I wanted to see where we were at with our staff. So sent out a staff survey. I took the job over in June 2 years ago, and in the September sent out an all staff survey just to give me some basic knowledge about where everybody stood, and especially with the pandemic having still been in the background, but having hopefully passed the worst. And we got the results from that, and then we decided to follow it up with focus groups, because we're very good at thinking what we need, think we know what people want as far as well-being went, but we wanted to find out what people really wanted. So we held several focus groups, and this brings me on to the peer buddies. As a result, one of the things that somebody put forward at one of the focus groups was they felt, as a relatively new member of staff, a little bit of a disconnect. Sometimes they felt they didn't have anybody to speak to. They didn't want to particularly speak to one of their team members, but equally they didn't want to bother their friends with things. So they asked if there was any way we could do something like a group where people could just let off a bit of steam if they wanted. So I sat there thinking, hello, we've got a quick win here. I love quick wins. I like something that's not going to cost me any money. It's going to be there for everybody. And if only a couple of people use something, then it's served a purpose. So immediately following that particular focus group, spoke to my manager and said, I think we really need to send something out about this. Explained what it was, the basics of it and what we discussed at the focus group. So we sent out a call. Was anybody interested in being a peer buddy to help people? And we immediately got a massive response from people. So we met with everybody who volunteered and decided we wanted equal numbers on both sites. For those of you who don't know, we do have as a site in Yorkshire, which obviously that's where I'm from. You would never guess from the accent, would you? So we decided we'd have equal numbers on both sites. Absolutely no qualifications necessary, just approachable personality and to be there and have the time to give to people. Next slide, please. So we were concerned about confidentiality because it is a very informal approach that we're taking. But the peer buddies do hold in confidence anything that is said to them at any meeting that they have with anybody. They won't share any information. All I get are numbers. So if somebody's met with somebody once or 5 times, they'll just send me details. It's just so we can see that people are making use of this. I don't know what we call it really. It's not a service, but it's something there that's for people to use. So that's the only information that we share, and confidentiality is key really. And we say that with everything, with like our mental health first aiders, our anti-bullying champions. It's the same thing again. 1 minute. Next slide then, please. So what do? Basically, it's an informal way, as it says there. People can discuss work problems, or they might just want to chat with somebody who's not a mate, but somebody who might understand the library culture. No formal training whatsoever. People can pick who they want from the list that you probably saw on the first slide there. They can either email them or phone them up and say, do you fancy a chat? We encourage people, as it says there, if you just need a chat, contact a buddy. It takes away from the mental health first aiders, people who don't feel it's anything to do with their mental health and just need a chat. And those people are there to listen to your concerns and offer a sympathetic ear, because everybody needs a friend. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hilary. So that leaves us with about 10 minutes for questions. So Jenny, have you got any questions there in the chat for either Hilary or Jackie to answer?
I'll do the same method as Susie and give you both so that you can both be thinking. So Jackie, do you have any tips for other people on the call today who might be feeling a bit similar about their current role, that they're feeling a bit sick and tired and thinking, what shall I do next? And
well, but don't do anything rash. That's what I would say, because I did. I mean, I'm not mad. I did ask colleagues in the liaison team at the time, you know, what do you think I should do? I'm thinking of resigning from CILIP. And I listened to them, but I didn't do anything about it. I just sort of reflected a bit. You know how you feel, you get a bit, oh, at times, but I just sat back and just reflected, and I just bided my time. That's all I can say, is just, you know, be calm, it will come. And if it does come, just go for it, you know.
I think it sounds like you could have done with one of Hilary's peer buddies at the time.
Well, you know what? I was just thinking, I wouldn't have minded being one of your peer buddies.
I think you can be a wonderful peer buddy.
But the other thing that we do at Newcastle University, which I didn't use, but other establishments might have, at the university here, we've got a university mentor. And you can sort of hook up with someone. I used to be a university mentor, sort of get sort of impartial advice for careers and stuff, but not everywhere does that, but Newcastle University does. But just, you'll know it when you see it, and just go for it.
And for Hilary, what kind of uptake have you had on the programme?
It's not been massive. I have to say, but we have at least every month there's somebody has used somebody or other. So as far as I'm concerned, if one person gets something out of it, then it's worthwhile, because it's not costing us anything. These people are just doing it as part of their day-to-day work, you know, they slip it in with their other jobs. So absolutely not a problem. The one thing we do make clear though, talking about mentoring, we do have a mentor scheme. This is very different to our mentor scheme is quite formalized, and we wanted something that was less formal. We wanted something where there isn't lots of stuff to write down or anything like that. It's just a chat. So if one person gets something out of it, you know, it's worth it. It's costing us absolutely nothing, and it was so quick to do, which, you know, I thrive off quick wins.
We have something similar at NAG called unmentoring, which is again a more informal thing. Yeah.
Good.
Back to you, Biddy.
Hey, thank you very much. So that's been a really interesting exploration of, I guess, you know, ourselves, because it's all very well as supporting our users, but being able to support ourselves as well as library workers and information workers is really crucial. Because then otherwise, how can we support anybody else, you know? So it's a holistic thing.